Okay, so just a very quick video then, talking you through how to correctly format and reference your equations in Word. Now, just a bit of a heads up, it's going to take a few steps. However, once we've set these things up, we can just save it as a template, and then it will just be as simple as clicking one button from there on. Okay, so let's come to the top ribbon. Let's click Insert, and let's just insert a table first of all. Now I'm going to insert a 3x1 table, so that's 3 columns and 1 row. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to highlight that entire table that we've just inserted just by clicking the arrowhead in the top left. Then I'm going to right click on that arrowhead and come down to Table Properties. I want to make sure this table will always appear for the full width of the page, so I'm just going to check where it says Preferred Width. I'm going to change the units from centimetres to percent, and I'm going to make this 100%. Next, I'm going to change the width of the columns, so I'm going to come across the Column tab. I'm going to change the units again from centimetres to percent, and I'm going to click Next Column, and it should bring up the first column, column 1. I'm going to change this to be 7%. I'll then come across to the next column, to column 2. I'll change this to be 86%. Then I'm going to click Next Column to come across the last, which is column 3, and change that to be the same as the first, so 7%. I'm going to click OK, and you should have a table that looks like this. So next, I need to actually insert some placeholder equation. Now the equation is going to go into the middle column of my table, it's the biggest one. So I'm just going to highlight the middle cell, or just click in the middle cell. I'm going to go to Insert along the top ribbon, and I'm just going to come across to Equation. Now because this is just a placeholder, I could just type some dummy equation in here. In fact, I'm just going to type the word equation, and that's fine for me, okay? So next, I actually want to include a caption which tells me the number of this equation. So I'm just going to highlight this, and I'm going to come to the references along the top ribbon, and I'm going to go to Insert Caption. Now obviously this is an equation, so I'm going to change the label from figure, use the drop down arrow, and change it to equation. Now I don't actually want the word equation in front of my caption, I just simply want the number of the equation. So I'm just going to click Exclude the label from the caption. And actually I do have a few options with these captions, so just to show you, I'm going to come to numbering. I can change the formatting from 1, 2, 3 to be alphanumeric, so ABC, or even Roman numerals if I prefer. Also, if I have sections in my document, so for example, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, I can also change the caption number to include the chapter number as well. So for example, I could change it to be 3.1. That's going to be chapter 3 and the first equation in that chapter. Or 4.6 is going to be the 6th equation in chapter 4. And again, I can change the level that the chapter starts with, and also the separator from a point to a hyphen or colon or whatever I want. At this stage, I'm not worried about that, so I'm going to uncheck this, click OK, and click OK again. And you can see that the caption appears up here. Now clearly this is the wrong place. I want it to appear on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to cut it, so I'm going to right-click and click Cut, and then right-click over here and click just paste. Okay, so I'm just going to go Control V there for you. Okay, now I'm going to put parentheses each side of my number, okay, like so, and I'm also going to change this, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make it 11 font size, and I'm also going to change it so it's the same as the rest of the text, so to automatic like so. Okay, so now this is set up. This is actually the raw part of the work done. All I need to do now is just change the formatting slightly. So you see where it says equation? Well, I want to change that so that it's formatted in the middle of my cell. So I'm going to come across the top ribbon, I'm going to come to layout, and I'm just going to select the middle box here. So that's going to align it center in both the horizontal and vertical direction. Similarly, for the equation number that we've inserted, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to align it centered vertically, but I'm going to right align it. So I'm just going to click this button here. Okay, cool, so now that's set up, all I need to do is get rid of the borders from my table. So I'm just going to highlight my table again, come to Table Design, and I'm just going to select where it says Borders, and just hit No Borders like so. Okay, so this is it now. This is my raw table set up, and I want to now save that as a template. So I'm just going to highlight my table again. I'm going to come to Insert along the top ribbon, and I'm going to come across to all the way to the right-hand side. You notice equation is grayed out, but the drop-down arrow next to it is not grayed out. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to select Save Selection to Equation Gallery. I'm going to give this a name, so I'm just going to call it My Equation, and then I can just click OK. Now this is saved as a template, I can actually get rid of this. So I can just highlight that table and just backspace to get rid of that. So just to show you how this works then, every single time I want to insert an equation, now I've saved it as a template, all I need to do is come to Insert along the top ribbon, come along to Equation and click the drop down arrow and scroll all the way down to where it says My Equation. So if I click that now, I can basically change that equation to be anything I like, for example, x squared, and you can see that that gets numbered, so x squared gets numbered as equation 1. If I want to insert another equation, so for example, I just need to go to Insert, come across again to Equation, drop down arrow, scroll down to My Equation, and then I can insert another equation. So for example, that might be z minus 2, for example. And you notice that it automatically numbers it as equation 2. Now what this means is that if I have some text, so for example, here is equation, and then let's actually number this equation. So I want to actually refer to this particular equation. So all I need to do is come to the references along the top ribbon, come to cross-reference, and then I'm going to change this from numbered item. I'm going to click the drop down arrow and come down to equation, and you can see that my two equations, so equation 1 and equation 2, are automatically there, okay? Now I want to reference this to equation 2, so I'll just click equation 2 and I'll click Insert like so. And you can see that it will automatically bring up, here is equation 2. Now the beauty of doing this, as opposed to sort of manually just sort of typing in number 1, number 2, and then number 2 down here, is that if I come here now and I want to insert another equation in the middle, so if I go to Insert, come to the drop down arrow for equation, and come down to My Equation, and let's suppose I want to change this to, for example, AX, right? And I'll click enter. Then you can see that it will automatically bring up 1, 2, and you see it doesn't automatically bring up equation 2. That's not to worry, because all I need to do is to update my fields. It's just that Word doesn't automatically update fields, you need to do it manually. So the simple way of doing that is just highlighting all of your text by going Control A, and then clicking F9. And you notice that it will automatically then just update all of my fields. So now it goes 1, 2, 3, and you can see equation here has referred to equation 3 automatically. And of course, if I want to refer to another equation, so here is another equation, an equation, so I go to Reference, Cross-Reference, and I want to refer to equation 2 now. I'll click Insert and then Close, and it will automatically refer to this equation. And again, if I insert more equations in between or before, then I just need to update all fields by Control A and then clicking F9, and it will update automatically. So the last thing that we need to ensure then is that this template equation that we've saved will be there for future versions of files that we open up. So quite simply, when you click Exit, it will bring up a prompt or a dialog box saying, do you want to save that template? If you click Save, then it will automatically save it there. And then basically every single time we open up another Word document, you can see that when we go to Insert, click Equation, click the drop down arrow, it'll be there again, even if we open up a brand new document. So for every single version of a document that we bring up now, it will automatically be there. So hopefully that is useful.